So my internet's still out thanks to these winds. You might be able to hear the leaves rustling around. It's pretty wild out there. So we can't do the news the traditional way, but that's okay. I wanted to make sure I, number one, checked in with all of you guys anyway, and just give you the main updates. I feel bad. I was getting everything ready, and then suddenly everything went out. It's been out for a few hours now. Hello, Evangelina. Good to see you. I'm trying to do this horizontally, and it's weird because the camera's in a funny position. I hope you guys can hear me all right. Let's take a look at some of the things going on last night and today. See where to start. I don't know if I can switch my camera back and forth or not. I think there we go. So what do we got? Gold. Gold is just about to hit $3,000 an ounce. It's at $29.88 right now. Getting pretty good. Sounds good in North Carolina. Awesome. I don't know if you guys are getting any. I mean, we're not getting storms yet. It's just been windy, like a constant, continual wind from hell. Let's see where to jump to next. Did you guys look at the blood moon last night? You gotta see this video. This is wild.
Whoa. I don't see it. I'm on the front porch.
Oh my God!
Never seen anything like that in my life.
Look east. Look east.
That's wild.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Do you see it, Mom?
No.
You're kidding me. I'm on Marietta, facing Newport Road.
Well, look at that. I don't know where that's at, but
What the heck?
Totally staying still. Now it's spinning in circles. Oh my God. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
No, I don't see it.
What the hell is it?
I'm in the middle of my front.
yeah, I think everybody saw it better in some places depending on where you live. I forgot to look entirely. My brother watched it, but he didn't make it sound that spectacular. Looks pretty light out wherever that is, so I don't know. Maybe West Coast. Had to show you that. Somebody pointed this out. Remember the picture we looked at yesterday with the rescue guys had the 17 on the 27 with the mission scrub. Somebody had to bring up, oh, that's the 10 days again. 10 days of what? They didn't say. I'll just kind of bounce around today, I guess. This from Doug McGregor. There are over 200,000 Ukrainians in the United States. Thousands of them are working for the Ukrainian police, secret police. President Trump is at risk and should be protected at all costs. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, he's been going a lot of places, but it doesn't feel like he's been out in the open much. The FBI and Department of Justice extradited 7 cartel leaders from Colombia allegedly responsible for funneling thousands of kilos of drugs through our southern border, ultimately trafficking them onto your streets. Now they've been brought to Florida today to face justice. Isn't that pretty awesome? I mean, not only are they catching the drug dealers and gang members in our country, but the ones that committed crimes regarding our country, they're going after them. So that's kind of cool. Kash Patel posted this. In under 2 weeks, this team has taken hundreds of violent criminals off the streets, and they're just getting started. FBI's new task force arrests 214 criminals, including Tren de Aragua and MS-13 gangbangers, in 2 weeks. MS-13 had a good grip here for a long time, and I think that was a big target of this stuff. This was pretty shocking, and I haven't found much on this story. U.S. Homeland Security, narco-terrorist Mexico mass execution ranch, mass graves. This is in Mexico. Their own mass execution ranch with mass graves unlike anything seen outside of the Middle East. The Mexican Auschwitz, a death camp, and Tenochtitlan and Jalisco, operated by the CJNG and used as a forced training camp for cartel assassins and torture trainees. You know, when you're training to be a torturer, I guess that's a little different than training to be a plumber or electrician, huh? Wild. There's all kinds of cool deltas today. Let's see what else to look at. I apologize, guys. I know this probably kind of sucks, but we could look at Michael Jaco's post. Every chemtrail has a corresponding aircraft that can be easily found available online apps. Robo-timed air samples on the ground or with drones can determine what chemicals were released, then hold the airline or company releasing toxic chemicals responsible. They're really getting good at this, convincing people not to keep committing crime. I gotta hand it to the Trump administration. They really, it's sort of like the people here illegally. If you go home, you can come back. If you don't, and we have to go to the trouble of moving you out, then we have problems. So this is kind of all over, and we'll go into this. Trump expected to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1799 to speed up mass deportation of illegals. This law is a wartime authority. This means troops will likely be involved. This is what we voted for. I didn't know how to look at that, to be honest with you. Is it what we voted for? I mean, it sort of is, and it isn't. That's the weird thing. I started to make this video on TikTok earlier saying how, because I seen this interview on Australia's Sky News, and they were interviewing people that hated MAGA, and they're saying, oh, I feel like I should be slinging on a gun and bullets to go to war, and MAGA people hate everyone with dyed hair. So I was making a video about it, and then I read that, and it's like, he's a totally anti-war president in the middle of a war, you know? Like, that's the funny thing. Well, it's certainly not funny, but the Alien Enemy Act, this says 1798, is a wartime measure that authorizes the president during a declared war or in the event of an invasion or predatory incursion perpetrated or threatened by any foreign nation or government to issue regulations directing the conduct of or otherwise restraining citizens or nationals of, and on it goes. So what that means is we're either in a, I mean, for him to do this, we're either in a declared war or under invasion or predatory incursion. And I think that probably has something to do with President, what is it, Maduro down in South America, that said he was going to send the files back up to Trump, proving that Biden was responsible for Tren de Aragua gang members coming up here. I think it's kind of connected to that. I think they know that was an invasion, and now they can prove it, and I think that's just the beginning of it. The Alien Enemy Act of 1798. So there's that. Sorry, no, my hands are in the way. And that's kind of all over the place. This says he's doing it to carry out deportations to Guantanamo. And what that probably is the people that Biden had brought up here are technically part of this invasion team, invasion squad. And they'll go to Guantanamo. So it's all tied in. It's deep in its own sense. There's this thing about Dr. Oz today. I swear I heard a lot of bad stuff about him. Dr. Oz, Trump's nominee to lead Medicaid and Medicare to face Senate grilling. He faces a confirmation hearing. Well, today he faced it. I don't know how that went necessarily, but I forgot he was even on Trump's team, I guess. It's just one more of those things where it's sort of like people are like, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Here's an interesting picture. It's the tunnel under Ukraine. They have about 2.5 kilometers of tunnels, it says. And that's under Odessa. Let's take a look at some different things here. They're catching some of the people tearing up the dealerships.
We have someone in jail right now from one of the dealerships. They threw a Molotov cocktail through a dealership. They're looking at up to 20 years in prison. So if you're going to touch a Tesla, go to a dealership, do anything, you better watch out because we're coming after you. Wow. And well, if you're funding this, we're coming after you. We're going to find out who you are.
So the person that threw a Molotov cocktail is facing 20 years in prison. It's really not worth it at all. DOGE slashes 10,000 USPS workers as Elon Musk goes on wild rampage after judges setbacks. So the Postal Service is taking a huge hit. And I think I got a video about that.
Tonight, the U.S. Postal Service says it signed a deal with Elon Musk's DOGE to cut costs at the agency. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy said the service plans a workforce reduction of 10,000 workers within the next month through a voluntary early retirement program. The Postal Service, which has struggled to make a profit for years, is an independent agency, allowing it to remain untouched by DOGE until now.
Until now. Yep. So they're doing it to save money. So apparently there's a whole lot of swatting going on. Do you guys know what swatting is? If you've watched enough YouTube by now, maybe you're familiar with it. It's where somebody who doesn't like you and has your address calls in some kind of 911 emergency or crisis, and then the SWAT team comes barging to your front door. I love you too, guys. And apparently this is happening to a lot of people. Cat Turd, Gunther Eagleman, a lot of popular guys. This guy here, if you remember him, he does.
My wife Brennan, and just wanted to give you guys an update. We did just get swatted here in Tennessee. The officers said they received a phone call that somebody murdered somebody in the house and was planning a suicide by cop. So I received the call with that information. We cooperated with police. They were very nice.
They were actually very nice.
Very, very nice. They were not aware that this was going on across the country. Was that, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't either, I guess.
What was going through your head when you saw officers in the backyard with guns?
I was shaking. I was terrified. I was the only one awake. He was asleep.
Yeah.
And they were just pointing their guns into the house, and it.
Sorry, my hands are shaky.
I was very scared. I was very scared.
That's the point, and that's what these people are trying to do. They're trying to silence folks who are not afraid to speak their mind online. And
whoever's doing it, they seem to be sending pizzas to the houses first before they send the cops. And they're warning people if you get a pizza that you weren't expecting, obviously not to freaking eat the thing. There's cat turd. You know, obviously, I don't think I have to tell you guys that, but hopefully you don't have to worry about this kind of thing. There really aren't any clues other than the pizzas. I don't know if they think they can trace that back somehow. I'm sure they're working on it, but people are starting to get worried. It's extremely dangerous. I mean, you got an entire SWAT team of cops that, you know, are, I'm not going to say trigger happy, but they're protecting their lives going into an unknown situation on a joke for somebody to get a laugh. I mean, the pizza thing, that's funny. I'd laugh at that. You send somebody a pizza, okay. I mean, I'm not condoning that, by the way, but I kind of laugh at it. But swatting, that's a whole other line you're crossing, and if they catch you, you're gonna be in deep shit. I mean, and obviously you guys are grown-ups. I don't think I have to tell you not to do that kind of stupid shit. Here's a good video I saw today.
The Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the Israel God promised in the Bible. It's not. In the Bible, Israel means two things. First, Israel was a person. In Genesis 32, Jacob wrestled with God, literally fought him all night long. And after that, God changed his name to Israel, which means he struggles with God. Second, Israel became a nation. Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. But hear this out, they were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise. The nation of Israel existed under kings like David and Solomon. But guess what? They lost their land. They were exiled because they turned away from God. Fast forward today, Israel was founded in 1948 as a political state. But that's not the same as biblical Israel. It's not ruled by biblical law. Not everyone there is a descendant of the 12 tribes. And the land does not define God's people. Faith does. So when people think that defending modern-day Israel is the same as defending God's chosen people, no, you're missing the whole point of Scripture. God's Israel was never about land, but about a relationship with Him.
So I thought that was kind of cool. I gotta put my phone down for a second to get a drink. Hey, you guys. Hope you're doing good. It's Friday. I really am sorry. I had a great show lined up for you. Had a great show. Do you guys ever do scary stories? You know, the ghosts and mysteries and hauntings. Have you ever heard of the Mad Gasser? I actually live in the town of the Mad Gasser, where people were gassed by the Mad Gasser. I don't know why I brought that up. I was thinking about it today. Yeah. We're going to get back to some news, guys. I apologize. I did see on TV, it appeared to be like there's tornadoes in Missouri. So there's that. All right. Let's keep going here. This was kind of cool, too.
Saying that the protest today at Trump Towers is prophecy in any way, but it is page 1, chapter 1 of The Last President, and that book was written 129 years ago. That's next on the trumpet. It's the Baron Trump series, and it's called The Last President. The book 1900, or The Last President, was written about a future event in 18.
So I didn't know they had protests going on out there that match up with the end of the story, but if it cheers you guys up any, let me see if I can find the deltas for today. At least they're pretty good. Stay strong. The United States is with you. The end is near. That's pretty cool, huh? I think that's a good deal. Hopefully the end is near. I know, guys. I suck. Check out this video with the blood moon.
Is Venus just smaller and closer and in front of the moon right here? Or is the moon transparent and we're seeing through it to Venus? This photograph was taken last week. It is Venus through the moon. Through the moon. It reminds us of certain patterns on flags we've seen before. I figured everyone would be covering this, so I didn't bother. But I haven't seen anyone covering it yet. But either Venus is little bitty and in front of the moon, or the moon is just transparent and we're seeing Venus through the moon, which we should never be able to see Venus anyway. It's orbiting closer to the sun, supposedly. And anytime it's night, we're on the side facing away from the sun, right? In this model. So Venus is orbiting closer. It'll always be behind the ball of Earth. So that's at least two impossibilities in one
Maybe
photo.
it's not
How many more
Venus.
impossibilities can you think about when it comes to the heliocentric model of Earth? Is it what we've been told?
I don't know what to make of that. I don't want to stick on that too long, but all right. Let's see what I got next. Pastor Robert Morris has been indicted on child sex charges. This is from the Gateway Church. Let's take a deeper look into that. There we go.
The founder of one of North Texas's most prominent megachurches is facing child sex charges. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock. An Oklahoma grand jury indicted Gateway Church founder Robert Morris on 5 felony counts. The allegations emerged in June of last year when the Christian Post published a woman's story alleging she was abused by Morris starting at the age of 12. The church first said it was aware of Morris's past quote, moral failure, then later said it did not know her age, the victim's age, or the extent of the abuse. 3 days later, Morris resigned from Gateway. In November, Gateway announced it removed multiple elders who knew the victim's age at the time of the abuse, and now Morris is facing those criminal charges. Casey Stiegel in studio with the developing story.
Wow.
Yeah, good evening. This was a case that garnered national attention last summer and brought down the man who founded one of the largest mega churches in the country. But tonight, disgraced Pastor Robert Morris faces more than embarrassing accusations. He's now staring down felony charges for his alleged misconduct. The 5-page multi-county grand jury indictment from Oklahoma contains disturbing details, outlining 5 separate counts of lewd or indecent acts to a child, starting on or about Christmas Day, 1982.
12-year-old
Robert Preston Morris, quote, did intentionally touch or feel with his hand the body or private
That's
parts
too much.
of CC.
That's too much. Wow. Wow. A 12-year-old, a pastor. My God. And what's worse, the other elders did nothing. Nothing. They looked the other way. God. That is deeply disturbing. So there's been some more airplane problems. There was a small airplane crash near Greenville this morning.
I have some breaking news, Nikki, that we do want to get you on here. Shifting gears completely, this is coming out of Greenville. So we're hearing that a plane went down in that area of Greenville earlier this morning. You heard about this during, I guess, the last break that we had. What do we know about this?
So we don't know a lot. So we're working with our sister station, WNCT, that's in Greenville, to get more information at this time. So this happened near the Pitt Greenville Airport. We're working to learn what type of plane it was, and right now it's not clear how many people were on board. If you're familiar with that area, North Memorial Road is expected to be closed for the rest of the day, and the Greenville Police Department is assisting. So we'll keep you updated as we learn.
I don't think they know how many people were on the plane yet, but there were no survivors. And then this last night in Denver.
Some really terrifying moments on a Denver runway. A Dallas-bound American Airlines flight burst into flames seconds after making an emergency landing there in Denver. Watch this.
Charlie 48, engine fire, copy. And Charlie 48, fire personnel is responding.
So the flight was from Colorado Springs. It landed in Denver after the crew diverted, reporting, quote, engine vibrations to air traffic control.
Man, these plane problems just keep coming and coming. But there's fairly good explanation, I feel like, when I look at this.
Washington Suburban Associate members, brothers and sisters, listen. It's been a really busy time for me these past 4 days. I know that each of you are eager, very eager,
I know you can't.
job vacancy announcement. And trust, after tonight, you will be able to do so. I am asking that you give me another 15 or 16 hours. Allow me to go to work and come home, provide you with an email that will be extremely crucial in the opening stages of this hiring process.
This is DEI hiring, and this guy's telling them,
I'm
going to email you important screenshots.
Something that you will appreciate to the utmost. Keep in mind, we are trying to maximize
yes, answers to the
your
test.
opportunities. And I'm doing the very best that I can.
He's trying to maximize their opportunities, meanwhile getting other people killed. Now, I can't remember what this job was for, but it was something pretty important. God, I'm trying to remember now. Completely blanked my mind. But that's the kind of wild stuff that's happening, and that's the reason it's led to this stuff. Anna Paulina Luna wants federal agents caught destroying or concealing government documents to be eligible for a life sentence in prison. What do you guys think? 20 years to life for people that destroy federal documents, government documents? Probably a good idea. I like this post today. We hated Obama like you hate Trump, except we hated Obama because he hates America. You hate Trump because you hate America. It's funny. People are still kind of up in arms over this. College students getting booted. J.D. Vance got booed last night at the Kennedy Center.
Kill them lights!
He just smiles and waves. I thought that was funny. He just smiles and waves while he's getting booed. But this was a pretty good interview he did.
There's controversy over the decision to try to deport that former Columbia student, Mahmoud Khalil, over national security concerns that were determined to be in place by Marco Rubio. Are you at all worried that a future Democrat administration would use that same provision to try to deport conservative students studying here in the United States?
Well, if it was an American citizen, it would be a different conversation. If a Democrat tried to do that to an American citizen, of course,
Talking about green card
that would be a problem. But Laura, a green card holder, even if I might like that green card holder, doesn't have an indefinite right to be in the United States of America, right? American citizens have different rights from people who have green cards, from people who have student visas. And so my attitude on this is this is not fundamentally about free speech. And to me, yes, it's about national security, but it's also more importantly about who do we, as an American public, decide gets to join our national community? And if the Secretary of State...
I don't understand why a college student would come here if he hated the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, of all the places you could go to school, well, I mean, if you hate the country, I mean, sounds like he wants to be with Hamas. We should just deport him over to Palestine. And no, but seriously, I mean, he was a college student, an older college student, I might add, and he's on a visa, and he's out there. It's not that it's breaking his free speech or opinion, but it's like, we don't have to let you stay in the country, and if you're marching and promoting terrorists that want the country destroyed, why shouldn't we send you home, you know? I know he said, I got a family, and I get it, but did something pretty stupid. You're out promoting terrorism rather than worrying about your family.
Trump just took questions from reporters in the Oval Office for 45 minutes. They asked him about the tariffs, specifically about the tariffs with Canada, and they said, are you going to change your mind on the tariffs that are going into place on April 1st? And he said, no, I'm not changing my mind. They said, well, what could stop the tariffs? And he says, one thing can stop the tariffs, and that's when Canada becomes a state. You see, Canada can't survive without extorting America to fund their government, and that's not going to happen anymore. So sooner or later, the Canadian government's gonna have to fucking come to reality, have a come to Jesus moment where they realize, like, this only ends one way. And that's with the dissolving of the communist Canadian government and the installation of the Republic and an expansion of our rights and freedoms given to the Canadian people. Trump says, oh, Canada, the song, it's a beautiful song. You guys keep it. It's your new state anthem. Yeah, because you're going to be singing this fucking Star Spangled Banner right quick. And I will tell you, Canadians, you're going to fucking love it. I've met plenty of you. You're going to love the rights and the freedoms. I know you could all use a whole lot of the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and the Third and the Fourth. Like, you need them all because the Canadian fucking government is trampling the fucking human rights of the Canadian people right now. They asked Trump about a deal that he had brokered with 48 icebreaker ships because he says you also annexing Greenland. That shit's happening, right? And he says they're putting that deal together. And they're gonna fucking need 48 new icebreaker ships. Right now, America only has one icebreaker ship. Canada asked to get in on the deal with these icebreaker ships, and Trump told them, as a country, no. But if you want in on the icebreaker deal, as a state, we're willing to cut you in on that. So that's how this goes, people. If you want to know what Trump is going to do, all you have to do is listen to what he says. It's that simple. I don't know why no one is taking Canada as a state seriously, because that's the only way this ends. That's where this is all going. Canada might get a little fucking bumpy up there for you guys as your fucking government has to, enter into fucking the reality that
if you notice,
fucking shit show is fucking over. But until then, hold tight. Freedom is incoming shortly. Good luck to you all. Canada, welcome to the Republic.
If you notice, Trump and a lot of other politicians are already calling it another state, referring to Governor Trudeau, Governor Carney. Maybe it already is. I mean, we know it already is. If you guys didn't realize that. It's just the kind of things that are changing. Joe Biden's got a little more trouble coming his way. We'll look at that in a second here. Let's see if I can bring up a couple of Trump's posts today. We had a very good and productive discussion with President Vladimir Putin of Russia yesterday. And there's a very good chance that this horrible, bloody war can finally come to an end. But at this very moment, thousands of Ukrainian troops are completely surrounded by the Russian military and in a very bad and vulnerable position. I strongly requested to President Putin that their lives be spared. This would be a horrible massacre, one not seen since World War II. God bless them all. So there you go, Democrats. Is that your wartime president? They keep talking about Trump like war, he wants war. Doesn't look like it to me now, does it? Congratulations to Chuck Schumer for doing the right thing. Took guts and courage. The big tax cuts, LA fire fix, debt ceiling bill, and so much more is coming. We should all work together on that very dangerous situation. A non-pass would be a country destroyer. Approval will lead us to new heights. Again, really good and smart move by Senator Schumer. This could lead to something big for the USA. A whole new direction and beginning. That's regarding the spending bill vote. I heard he voted against it, but I don't know. Maybe Trump's just trolling the guy. I don't know. My internet's pretty much been out for hours now, but Joe Biden was using a private
John,
email.
you texted it to me this morning. I'm reading. I say, here we go again. And we can't forget about this stuff. Why don't you take me through the big concerns from your end and some of the CIA officials that you've spoken with about this?
Yeah, we've talked to CIA, NSC, National Security Council, and FBI officials who spent their life classifying materials and trying to protect American secrets from all of our enemies. All of them called this process of moving these sensitive discussions to Joe Biden's iPad and his Gmail account reckless, endangering of national security. Fred Fleitz, former National Security Council Chief of Staff, said 8 things in this collection that we were given under the lawsuit this past few days looked to be classified information to him. And let me just tell you what stands out to the experts. You know, I'm just a journalist, but here's what the experts said. When a day before it happens, there is a situation room classified briefing, and the date, the time, the participants, and the subject are sitting on an insecure email of Joe Biden's. That allows spies to perhaps hack into the meeting, but if not hack into the meeting, target the people who are in the...
I gotta say, I find this a bit cross-productive. They're saying that Joe Biden was not even at work and used auto pen to sign everything. So now they're saying he's sending around these private emails with classified information. I find it hard to believe he even sent any emails, but he may not have been using the account. You gotta take that under consideration. Somebody else might have been in control of his account. Going back to this whole thing with Trump signing this, let me bring it back up again. The Alien Enemies Act of 1798. You remember Juan O'Sullivan talks all the time about this situation we're in with China. Do you think China was also behind the illegals coming into the country? I mean, we know they funded a good portion of some of the things that took place south of the border, but it makes me wonder if China's this enemy, technically, and that's what Juan O'Sullivan's talking about, but that it'll be handled easier than you might think. I don't know, but it got me thinking about that today. And so I wanted to point that out. Sorry, guys. Definitely not how I wanted to do our news today. I was thinking about starting next week, laying off the intros for a little bit, moving them to outros, giving people time to check out the channel, but I also got to work on my other channel this weekend. That's going to be fun. So, let me see if that's everything I really had today. I had some other shows we were going to watch, but it would be kind of weird for me to sit here and hold the phone for you the whole time. In case you're just tuning in, my internet's been out for a few hours now due to the wind here in Illinois. It's quite windy out. I wonder if we'll get these tornadoes happening in Missouri. Starting to get hot in here. But I wanted to make sure I check in with you guys. If my internet comes back on anytime soon, I'll come on tonight and we'll watch the shows I had planned for tonight. What else am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Patriots, I'm just glad that you're here and we get to spend some time together. I got a nice email today from somebody that's been in the chat before and really enjoys talking with you guys. And she was having trouble getting in the chat because you have to have an account. And there are free accounts, but you have to have an account to be in the chat. And she was trying to find her way back to our chat. Yeah, it's just a nice place where we can have productive conversations, and I think it's nice that there's a place we can do that on YouTube, which is really what brought me to starting this about a year ago. It was just, there's so much of this information that people need to see, and it had all been pushed off of YouTube, and so that's why I've pushed so hard and not allowed them to push me off of YouTube. We plan our whole day for this, you said, buddy? Well, I planned my whole day for our show tonight, but now here I am holding my cell phone because the wind knocked my internet out. So I won't keep you guys too long because I know it's going to end up making you motion sick here if I keep holding this phone and staring at the wrong camera. I think I'm looking at the camera now. It's there somewhere. Anyway, I love you guys, and I didn't want to leave you hanging. I told you I'd be here tonight, and I'm always here, and I had a good show, so it's just kind of where we're at. Other than that, really, overall, it's been a pretty slow news day. As far as I know, like I said, I lost my internet about 2 or 3 hours ago, so anything that's happened since then, I've got no idea about yet. So last I saw, there was tornadoes happening in Missouri, and then, well, that, and I was downloading some music for tonight. Had some good songs for tonight and everything. So, anyway, hey, Linda, you made it. Good to see you. I'm glad you found your way back. Awesome. I love having you guys here. I love having a place where we can get real and talk about stuff like adults. And again, I'm not here to try and push stuff on you and say that this is what this is or that's what that is. At the end of the day, you still have to kind of use your own judgment on these things, but and that's just the way the news cycles are right now. Everything's so back and forth. One side says one thing, the other side says another thing, and it's like battling. It'll ease up eventually. Things will get better, guys. As time progresses, this stuff will end. I think we're seeing the end of the damn Democratic Party and maybe the end of the Republican Party, too. And we need to. These parties kind of need to die out, I think. It's, in my humble opinion. I'm going to see if I can put my phone where I don't have to keep moving it around and making you guys motion sick. There we go. And I can smoke my pipe. So it was actually a beautiful day, wind aside. I had fun with my dogs again. Went out and read my book a little bit. I like to go out and read when I have a chance. I'm about finished with my book, though. I've got about 3 or 4 new books ready for this summer. I sound like a nerd. We'll see if I get to them, because I got to start my new project, which will be kicking off tomorrow morning, and that'll be fun. Working on miracles. There's all kinds of cool miracle stories that people don't talk about enough. They get caught up in the mysteries and the ghost stories and the cryptids and the mad gasser, I guess. No. Werewolves and vampires. I don't know. There's a cool side to thing out there if you pay attention. I don't know. There's lots of signs out there. I mean, nature will speak to you. God will speak to you. You just have to know how to pay attention. That being said, MAGA, do we hate everybody that dyes their hair? I don't know where that came from. I think that came from somebody with dyed hair and the dye is soaked into their scalp and it's rotting their brain, maybe. And some of these women were crying about this. Like, how can you hate Trump so bad you're crying about politics? I don't even get it. It's so insane. It's ridiculous. I think we live in a world full of adult children. Probably do. It's scary, though. Those are your future leaders of the world. I feel pretty primed. You know, there were reasons I didn't end up going the way of the military when I was younger, but if they would allow people my age to join the military now, I would join in a heartbeat. I don't think you can join once you're past 35 or so, 34, I don't remember. I'm 39, I think that's a little bit past the cutoff there. I would serve for somebody like Trump. I would have never served for President Bush. I would have never served for President Obama, if you even want to call him that. I don't think he deserves that title. But I just don't get it. People act like Trump's this horrible dictator. Are they not paying any attention at all? He's literally saving you trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. He's cleaning up poisons out of your food, and I don't get it. I guess I don't want to use the word ignorance, but that's what it is. It's ignorance. It's people opening their mouths before they think about what they're saying. You know? Yeah. Oh, man. I wonder if, I don't know. I was thinking about that Mad Gasser story again. It's got to be one of the craziest mystery stories out there. And I live right in the middle of that town. Haven't been gassed. That's good. I haven't seen any gassers. But that was probably about 80 years ago. So there is that. The fake news, yeah. And, you know, the more the fake news goes away, the more that stuff will change. It is dying down. You've got news stations that just go out and they pick the people with the most TDS, and then they put them on camera to kind of make a joke out of them. Once the news gets more real and real, which it will, society will change. People will change with it. They're already changing with it. I see a lot of societal changes, and I can't wait to see all these investments kick in, the factories, the manufacturing coming back. A day when made in America means something again, and I don't have to see a made in China tag on every freaking item in my house. That. The days where you bought a lawnmower and you had it for 30 years, you remember that? Instead of these pieces of shit that last about 3 months, and then you gotta buy a new lawnmower every summer. Let's go buy one of them Walmart lawnmowers again, and we'll just throw it in the trash at the end of the year. I'm serious, and you can't work on any of it too. It's not hard to fix a lawnmower, but they make it with these ridiculous parts trying to prevent you from being able to take it apart and fix it yourself. It's exactly like the cell phones. They just keep trying to reel you in with something. Or these ridiculous commercials. Have you guys seen the new YouTube commercial for that thing called the Ryoku? Free internet anywhere you go. Huh. What do you guys think the catch is on that? You think that little gadget gives you free internet wherever you go? They've got the worst false advertising on here. What that little thing does is it gives you a certain amount of data, and you have to pay for more data once that data runs out. So there's nothing free about it. I can't stand the marketing schemes of YouTube right now. I don't think I could, in good conscience, allow them to monetize my channel and stain the Patriot name with a bunch of scams and bullshit. I don't think I can do that. Like ladies' night at the club. Ladies' night, get in free for $1. It can be ladies' night tonight. The club's open. There's no Wi-Fi. Oh, is that a non-starter? No Wi-Fi. We weren't gonna drink, and I got a thing in the mail today. It's the 50th anniversary of the college radio station I worked at, and they're having a get-together at a local winery. And when I say winery, I mean a couple of grapes out in the middle of a cornfield. Probably should have just made it beer and gotten it over with. We're not much wine people here in Illinois. At least not this far south. I'm looking forward to seeing the effects of everything Trump's doing. The border, once the drugs really stop coming over the border, you will see a difference in this country, a drop in drug deaths. And a lot of people are going to need help. We need to be working on clinics, in my opinion, for people, but once we get the border locked down, we can wash that shit out of our country and we can put a stop to this fentanyl and methamphetamines. And I know some people do it. I'm not criticizing anybody. I used to be an addict myself. I've been sober off of heroin for 7 years. Drugs run your life. They run lives. It's simple as that. There's no life on drugs like that. You may think there is, and you may think you've got it under control, and you might even have it under control for a small amount of time, but it never stays that way. And I knew in my heart that I didn't want to be a 50-year-old drug addict wandering the streets like some of the people I see around here. I have a very addictive personality too. And I don't sit still very easily. I don't sleep a lot, but life is so much nicer. All drugs do is they fake some happy chemicals in your brain, and then when they wear off, you're so depressed. And opiate withdrawals has got to be the darkest thing I've ever experienced. It's a dark time. It's not fun stuff. And I'd like to see people get off that crap once we get the border locked down. I know that may not be what everybody wants to hear. I mean, I don't have a problem with weed or whatever. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in a long time. Dark how? Well, aside from feeling like you've got a very bad flu and your body aching, imagine the deepest, darkest depression your brain can get to, because it's literally running on empty. Your happy chemicals have dried up in your brain. It's running on empty. Everything around you feels hopeless. You feel disconnected from everything. And you feel like you'll never escape it. Ever. Like, I never thought I would get to a point where I could say I've been sober 7 years. You just don't think that way. It's so dark. Yeah, chemical imbalances are real, and it's happy chemicals. Your brain needs to produce that normally, and I have a hard time with that anyway. I've always had a hard time with that, but I've always smoked some weed because that's always helped my depression. And I don't smoke like a Rastafarian, but a tiny little bit here and there, if it can keep me on a positive keel, then I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. But there's a lot of ways to boost your happy chemicals. You got to stay moving around. People are kind of stuck indoors anymore with their gadgets and phones and streaming devices. It's important to move around. And I don't know, But if any of you are struggling with an opiate addiction or know somebody that is, you can always talk to me about it. I would be more than happy to help you, because I don't like seeing anybody stuck in that. And we had a hard time in my town. I mean, I watched just drugs destroy this town after outsourcing destroyed it and all the factories left, which is what Trump's fighting right now, to get the factories back. But then when Obama got in office and all the opiates came into the country, the heroin from Afghanistan, all these people I hung out with from high school and stuff, I'd watched them drink and take different drugs and party, and I've never seen something so devastating as opiates and heroin and fentanyl. People I knew my whole life were dropping dead, pretty much left and right. It was, I had never even been to a funeral. And then all of a sudden I was just going to funerals, it seemed like all the time. A few of those people I very much miss dearly. And another year longer, I would have been one of them. But it's nice to have my life back. It's nice to know happiness again, and just be able to reconnect with God and society, and be able to function. I remember at the deepest, darkest part of my addiction, actually, right before my grandma died, seeing her and thinking about how she had more energy than I did. It was pretty sad. Yeah, you guys have been through some hard shit too. We all kind of know it and see it and feel it and try to understand it. It gets confusing when you get to the point when you realize that your own government that you're supposed to trust is the one that's been bringing those drugs in all this time. That's the hard part. And it makes you so angry and makes you want to sue the government or something. You can't, there's just nothing you can do about it. But Trump is, I mean, Trump's doing something about it. Thank God for that. And if people are too stuck in their ignorant ways to see that the Democratic Party is not what you think it is, it never was. I don't know how people got this perception. I feel like people today have this perception of the Democratic Party like it's some 1960s hippie, free-loving side of things. Like this is who we should. It's not at all what those people stand for. I don't know what they stand for. The Democrats, they tried to destroy our country. They stand for nothing. The only thing they should be standing for now is to be fitted for an outfit for prison. They need to audit Congress, something. I don't know. And again, I know most of them have probably faced justice already, but we still have to see it publicly as a whole to move past where we're at now. And that's what we're all waiting on. That's what we're all waiting on. So last night, I think whatever we were watching, they were saying, I think it was Juan said the first arrest will probably be related to the Russia hoax. So I'm thinking maybe James Comey or Peter Strzok, or there's a whole list of people they could lock up tied to that. Probably including the President Obama, the former President Obama, whatever you want to call him. So, yeah, there's that. But I think it's going to change. I don't know what the future of politics will look like. Will we need parties? Why do we always have to be divided in two? Why do we always have to be divided in two? It's time to start working together as a whole to fix the planet. That's why we've always been divided, because they never wanted to fix any of those things, and that's how they kept themselves from having to do it. Formulating a bunch of red tape that means nothing, you know. So I kind of hope to see an end to the two-party system. Either no parties or lots of parties. I don't know. A lot of people, anybody should be able to run for president in this country. It shouldn't be based around money, and I don't know. But I just know we have to work together to make the world better and to help people. Whether we like what the Democrats are saying now or not, we have to be there for them when it all clicks in their brain someday. We have to be there for each other. We have to be there for the country. We have to be there for the rest of the world. We've got some obligations here in America. Yes, us MAGA folk. Oh, sliding out of my chair. But you know what would make a good way for people to help doing that? Stop monetizing this freaking revolution. It's time for people to be selfless. When you're just doing a show to try and make money, which I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, but too much of this has been monetized, and it makes the end goal look like greed. We're not greedy people. You can't be a greedy person. It's not going to do you any good. And so, you know, that's just the kind of things we've got to change, and I think we are. I think we will. And I think it's going to be amazing. And I think lots of interesting people like you guys are going to come out of nowhere to help this country and this planet blossom into something really beautiful. Something we've never seen in our lifetimes, for damn sure. So I still personally think it's exciting where we're at. I know people have their concerns and worries, and I could nitpick at things all day long, but I think everyone on Trump's team knows what they have to do, and they're doing it. You can't say they're not working on it. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot of big changes to come, and don't lose faith. They're coming. They will get here. There will be a day when you're not paying taxes or worried about debt slavery. We've been puppets our whole lives, man. I'm kind of interested to see what the new generation looks like. People like my little granddaughter, who's almost going to turn 2 pretty soon. She's born into this beautiful moment in time. And by the time she's old enough to have memories and make memories, the world won't look anything like it does now. That's exciting. That's the generation right there, your grandchildren, that will be the first generation of the new world. And they're going to grow up in all these changes and all these new things and all this positivity once we turn it around. And we are turning it around. Lucky kids, huh? I wonder if people in the future will look back on this time and say, you know what? There's no way it happened like people said it happened and wrote that it happened. That's too insane. Will this be one of those moments, sort of like, I don't know, like the Holocaust or something, or where people question it for decades to come? It probably will in some form or other. You guys are awesome, though. I hope you know that. And I'm sorry again we didn't get to have our show tonight. As far as I know, my internet's still not on. Yeah. Still nothing. Something big must have went down somewhere. We've had some gnarly winds today. We really did. But yeah, guys, I know it's still pretty early, so if something turns around, I'll come back on. I'll come on tonight, if something changes. If not, I will obviously see you guys all tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on earlier or something, if I can. I've got to work on this new channel. Got to work on the new channel tomorrow too, so anyway, if it's your first time here, why not subscribe and give it a chance? We don't have profit here. We're not monetized. We are strictly about Patriot news, broadcasting, and just trying to make the Patriot community a little tighter, a little closer together, make it a little easier to find things and know who the right people are to listen to, and hopefully making your lives a little more positive or a little easier or something like that. But we've got some great people in the chat. If you've never jumped in the chat before, give it a try. There's great people here. We don't have problems in the chat. Hey, Elvis. Hey, Disco. It's good to see you guys. I do wish there were more updates tonight or more going on, but in 6 weeks they've cleaned up these streets so much. I think they've collected some very violent people off our streets, and I do think we'll see the positive changes soon enough. So yep. But yeah, I suppose I won't keep you guys here forever. I'm kind of just mumbling on at this point. But I like being here with you guys. You know, Patriots got to stick together. Human beings got to stick together, in all honesty. No, it wouldn't hurt, Mary. I don't know if there will be a 10 days off or a 10 days of darkness or 10 days where the internet or power or whatever's off. I don't think we ever really established the whole of that or what it entails or if it's even real necessarily. I mean, it was written, but the context was never there with it. It's just 10 days of darkness. It still could, though. The Q posts are kind of ominous that way. There was one today that about March Madness and the brackets they do. There was a Q post about that years ago, and then Elon Musk made a post about it today. And if you're on X, obviously Elon Musk is a good person to watch what he's saying, and more than anything, President Trump is the person to really listen to. And he tells you, let me see if I have one more video here that I'm pretty sure I have that I wanted you guys to see. I think I had it for the intro or for one of the intros. Let me pull it up here real quick because it's probably one of the most important videos that President Trump's ever made or filmed himself doing. So we're going to watch it real quick.
Here's my plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them.
Yeah.
Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank you very much.
And so I think that's one of the most important videos that Trump's ever made, honestly. He just, I mean, to literally make a video outlining how you're going to take down the deep state. Nobody talks about that. Like, did you ever think you'd hear one of your presidents talking about that? This is my 9-step plan to take down the deep state. That's the best video he's ever made. And I believe every word he said. Where'd I find it? On Telegram, and it's on one of my channels. I put all these together. He made a bunch of these videos in 2024 talking about what his plans were going to be. I think this was the first, the plan to take down the deep state. He made one about a plan to work on flying cars and I can't remember the word I'm thinking of for that other one. Anyway, he made a bunch of these, but I put them all together in one video, and I put it on one of my channels. I don't know if it's still there or not. I'll look for it and see if I can put it up again. He talks about what he's going to do with the schools. And if you caught the end of it there, he's saying about removing 100,000 different government jobs and careers out of Washington, D.C. He's telling you it's moving day. It's you know. And if you paid attention to what he said, we're on like step number 3 or 4 right now of his 9-step how we're going to dismantle the deep state plan. So I like it. I like it a lot. So I think that's a good place to end the video here for now. Holding this cell phone feels odd, but thank you guys for all being here tonight. Surprisingly, there's a good amount of people here, and they've stuck around for the show. I'm thinking about getting rid of the intros and making them outros so we can get people to stop changing the channel. I know people they see the video, they say, what's this? I want to see what it is, and they flip it on and they see music and they try and flip through it, and then there's another song and another song. Some people just kind of want to get to the news, so I may try it next week and see how it goes. Start the show with just getting straight to the Patriot news going on, getting that out of the way. And then if people want to stick around and watch the shows afterwards, that's fine, or not, you know. And I try and show you guys a wide variety of what different important patriots are saying. You know, I think over this past year of doing this now, I think we've seen a good amount of people. You guys have introduced me to a lot of new patriots that I never heard of. So, yeah. Thank you guys. I need to get back to some of your emails, you know. I like that you guys like things kind of how they are. You're right. And if I'm being myself, this is how I would do things. There's actually been quite a few days this past month where I keep telling myself I'm going to take the intros out and make them outros. But then when I start putting things together for the evening, I can't help but make the intro. It kind of gets me pepped up for the show, and you know, I enjoy it though. I enjoy hanging with you guys. Jesus. Dropping things. Yeah, I've tried to be myself through all this. It was hard at first when I didn't know what I was doing, because there's people in the beginning that will tell you, you know, you should do things this way or do things that way, or you should stop playing 107, or you should stop playing this person or that person. And that was kind of my fault, though, because I told people in the beginning, email me the stuff you watch and we'll watch it too. And I got a lot of emails like, you gotta see this, you gotta see that. So, shorten them, that's the big thing. My brother keeps telling me that. He looks at him and he's like, people don't have the attention span. You know, they don't want to flip on a 4-hour video. So that's why I'm thinking if I get right to the news and do the news, then people can decide if they want to stick around and hang out in the chat and catch the show and the music afterwards and talk. And if not, you know, you don't have to. You can catch the news and go. I think that would be the good way to do it, at least. So I know, yeah, these do get lengthy. They get very lengthy. I'd like to get the news together and get to the news, and that way the news part of the show doesn't go more than maybe an hour, and then the rest of it people can decide. I enjoy doing it, but I also really badly want to get started on my other projects. I'm very deeply involved in my writing projects, and this new channel I want to start hopefully this weekend. I mean, I'm hoping Monday I can kick off a new video for the new channel. So, shorten the intro. Yeah, that's a good point too. I started with these 30-second intros, and then they went up to a minute, and then I'd play a song, and then it got to be a couple songs. Then they got to be about 15-minute intros, and somehow they got up to half an hour, and it's kind of happened that way. So, I still can't believe people are getting swatted. And they say the MAGA people are crazy, huh? Yeah, I'm trying not to dwell on it anymore. I'm the type of person, and I don't know if you guys know what I mean or not, that if I get caught up in trying to decide between two things, I can waste the whole day trying to decide between two things and not doing either of them. So I basically have to pick something and go with it, because otherwise I could go crazy making changes constantly. So, but you guys enjoy it, and that's what's important to me. I'd like to see new people jump in and stuff, and I think they will once I change the intros and they see that there's a community of good people here, just chatting about what's going on and catching some news and catching hopefully a wide variety of news. I pull news from a lot of places, and I'm doing a lot better now about doing my own fact checking, because there's a lot of people that'll put up old articles that happened like months ago or years ago. So yeah, that's all good, man. Don't you know 62's the new 42, buddy? I don't know how people drive around in those cars with that bass going like that. Maybe it's just a rap music thing, and I don't like rap music, so it makes sense. But my neighbor's car rattles my whole house. You'll take it? I'll take it too. That makes the 39 the new 19, I guess. When do I sleep? Oh, God. Do you remember when I was doing 2 episodes a day, guys? There for a little while, if you were here or not. There was like a month or two where I was doing 2 episodes a day, going on in the morning and in the evening, because I thought it'd be kind of easier to divide the day in 2, like half the day's news here, half the day's news later, but that was hard to do. That was hard to sleep. Actually, in all reality, I've been sleeping a lot better lately than I had been. Been sleeping pretty good, actually. I don't sleep long hours, but I'm just finally actually sleeping instead of staying up. I could stay up for a long damn time. Well, folks, for what it's worth, I hope you at least got some news out of this. Again, there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff happening today. It's kind of refreshing, actually. So I think I'll let you guys go and do your thing, and honk, honk, honk. I'm gonna go do my thing for a while. Just shut my window in case it rains. That's my to-do list. Shut my window in case it rains. I'm kidding. I got a huge to-do list. But thank you guys for being here, and I apologize again for having to do things on my phone tonight. God bless all of you, and much love to all of you. I don't think you guys understand how special you are, how important you are, how much attention God is paying to each and every one of you. He's watching you guys. You're the called, you're the activated, you're the chosen. I don't particularly like chosen, but you get what I'm saying. It's you guys, and you're important to the cause, very important. So don't forget that, my friends. Very important, all of you. I love all of you guys. Don't forget my emails in the channel description. You guys can email me for whatever. You want to say hi, you want to talk, you want to ask me a question, you're more than free to email me. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Stay out of trouble. You don't want to spend the weekend in county now. Right? Okay. I've actually got a very clean record. Can you guys see my old microphone behind me, by the way? On the wall. It's my old microphone. Alrighty, guys. Peace, love, all that good stuff. Be kind to each other. Have a good night. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Or what needs a frame? I need a frame. Oh, the microphone. Yeah, the microphone in the chair. Maybe someday we'll hold a contest as a giveaway. Love you guys. I will most likely see you tomorrow unless something changes tonight. So I'm out of here, folks. Love ya.